Om Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Rupam Tavetam Nanodrishkatmatmanam Udarsham Deva Yadatvaratmakam Chandasvi Yasya Sachiva Hirom Ajyam Vishwad Agrihosh Chaturhotram.
O Lord, your form is worshipable by performance of sacrifices, but souls who are simply miscreants are unable to see it. All of the Vedic hymns, Gayatri and others, are in the touch of your skin. Your bodily hair is the kusha grass, in your eyes is the clarified butter, and in your forelegs are the four kinds of fruitive activities.
Raptundasishvaishanasayor Idodare Chamashakarnarandare Prashitamasye Grasane Grahastute Yacharvanante Bhagavad Agnihotram.
O Lord, your tongue is a place of sacrifice, your nostril is another plate of sacrifice, in your belly is the eating place of sacrifice, and another plate of sacrifice is the holes of your ears. In your mouth is the Brahma plate of sacrifice, your throat is the plate of sacrifice known as Soma, and whatever you chew is known as Agnihotra.
Dikshanujan Dikshanujanabopasadashiroshadaram Tam Prayano Dayani Yadrashtatam Chiva Pravayo Grastyatava Shishakam Krato Satyasta Sadyam Chitayo Svate.
Moreover, O Lord, the repetition of your appearance is the desire of all kinds of initiation. Your neck is the place for three desires. Your tusks are the result of initiation and the end of all desires. Your tongue is the prior activities of initiation. Your head is the fire without sacrifice, as well as the fire of worship, and living forces are the aggregate of all desires.
Somastudeta Savananyavastite Sansta Vivedastvadeva Dhatava Shastrani Sarvani Sharisandhi Swam Sarva Yagna Katu Pratur Ishti Bandhana.
O Lord, your semen is the sacrifice called Samayagna. Your growth is the ritualistic performances of the morning. Your skin and touch senses are the seven elements of the Agnistoma sacrifice. Your bodily joints are symbols of various other sacrifices performed in 12 days. Therefore, you are the object of all sacrifice called Soma and Asoma, and you are bound by yagas only.
Namo Namaste Kilamanta Devata Sarvaya Sarva Pratavek Yatmane Vairagya Vyatyatma Majayanu Bhavita Gnanaya Vidya Guruve Namo Namaha.
O Lord, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead and are worshipable by universal prayers, Vedic hymns, and sacrificial ingredients. We offer our obeisances unto you. You can be realized by the pure minds freed from all visible and invisible material contamination. We offer our respectful obeisances to you as the Supreme Spiritual Master of knowledge in devotional service.
Damstragra Kotya Bhagvanscha Tvaya Virajate Budara Bhusa Budara Yatavanandi Sarapodata Prita Tangajendrasya Sapatra Padmini.
O lifter of the earth with its mountains, which you have lifted with your tusks, is situated as beautifully as a lotus flower with its leaves sustained by an infuriated elephant just coming out of the water.
त्रयीमयं रूपमिदं च सुकरं भूमण्डलानाथ दाता दृतान ते चक्ष चक्स्ति गोदा गणेशा भूयसा कालाचलेन्द्रस्य यथा विभ्रव
O Lord, as the peaks of the great mountains become beautiful when decorated with clouds, your transcendental body has become beautiful because of your lifting the earth on the edge of your tusks.
संस्थापयेनां जगतां सत्सुषां लोकाय पत्नीमसि मकरं पिता विधेमक्षास्य नमस सत्राय यस्यां स्वतेजोऽग्निमिव नो वद
O Lord, for the residential purposes of all inhabitants, both moving and non-moving, this earth is your wife, and you are the Supreme Father. We offer our respectful obeisances unto you, along with Mother Earth, in whom you have invested your own potency, just as an expert sacrificer puts fire in the arani wood.
प्रषद्गदितान्यमत्सव प्रभो रसङ्गताय भुव उद्विभारणं न विश्वमस्मयोऽस्त्वय विश्वमे यो माययेदां सर्जेति विस्मयम्.
Who else but you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, could deliver the earth from within the water? It is not very wonderful for you, however, because you acted most wonderfully in the creation of the universe. By your energy, you have created this wonderful cosmic manifestation.
विधुन्वता वेदमायां निजं वपुर् चानस्तपसत्यनिवासिनो वयं सत्ता शिखोदुत्तविश्वाम्बु बिन्दुभिर्विमर्यमाना वृषमिष्टाविता.
O Supreme Lord, undoubtedly we are inhabitants of the most pious planets, the Jana, Tapas and Satya logs, but still we have been purified by the drops of water sprinkled from your shoulder hairs by shaking of your body.
Surveying but भ्रष्टमतिस्तवेष्यते यः कर्मणं परम् अपरा कर्मणा यद्योगमाया गुणयोगमोहितं विश्वां समस्तं भगवान् विधेहि सम्.
O Lord, there is no limit to your wonderful activities. Anyone who desires to know the limit of your activities is certainly nonsensical. Everyone in this world is conditioned by the powerful mystic potencies. Please bestow your causeless mercy upon these conditional souls.
मैत्रेय उवाच इति उपास्थीय मनोऽसो मुनिभिर्ब्रह्मवदिभिः सलीले पुराक्रान्त upadavaitamavinam.
The sage Maitreya said, "The Lord, being thus worshipped by all the great sages and transcendentalists, touched the earth with his hoofs and placed it on the water.
Saitam Bhagavan Urvin Vishwasena Prajapati Rasya Nilayo Nitam Apunasya Yayo Hari.
In this manner, the personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, the maintainer of all living entities, raised the earth from within the water, and having placed it afloat on the water, he returned to his own abode.
Yaevam mitam hari madeso hari katham subhadram kathinaya mayina Shravet Bhaktya Shravanyet Voshikam Chanadayo Pushya Prasiddhati.
If one hears and describes in a devotional service attitude this auspicious narration of Lord Boar, which is worthy of description, the Lord, who is within the heart of everyone, is very pleased.
तस्मिन् प्रसन्ने शकलाशिषं प्रभो किं दुर्लभं ताभिरालं लवात्मभिः अनन्यदृश्या भजतं गृहस्य स्वयं विधत्ते स्वगतिं परः परम्.
Nothing remains unachieved when the Supreme Personality of God is pleased with someone. By transcendental achievement, one understands everything else to be insignificant. One who engages in transcendental loving service is elevated to the highest perfectional stage by the Lord Himself, who is seated in everyone's heart.
नो नामलोके पुरुषात् सर्वे पुरा कथानां भागवत् कथा सुदम् अपि कर्णाञ्जलभिर्भावपाहम् अहो विराज्यते विना नरते तरम्.
Who, other than one who is not a human being, can exist in this world and not be interested in the ultimate goal of life? Who can refuse the nectar of narrations about the personality of Godhead activities by which itself can deliver one from all material pangs? Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Anand Vijay Prabhu and Lila Vilasini Mataji, for your nice recitation. So welcome, dear devotees, to today's chat session. We continue with our reading and discussion of Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 13th chapter, chapter entitled The Appearance of Lord Varaha. And today we will be reading and discussing text number 48 to 50, the final verses in this chapter. So let's do the Mangala Charanam prayers. Please feel free to join in. Be unmuted mics. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yata Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sahagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutan Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagapati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Taptikanta Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sutidevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Turubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivashadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnupadaya, Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale, Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namini, Namaste Saraswati Deve, Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschacha Dishatarine Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So, dear devotees, we're now in the final section, verse 48, 49, and 50, the last three verses of this chapter. And we see a common system in the Srimad Bhagavatam that at the end of a number of chapters, there is always something called Phala Shruti. Phala means fruit. So for those great souls who come to reach Srimad Bhagavatam, the speaker always bestows some fruit. Devotees don't really want any fruit. This word Srila Prabhupada commonly uses, fruitive activities. Comes from the word fruit. Fruitive means we're seeking some fruit. So this is given by the speakers. Normally, it's not so much offered to the pure devotees, because the pure devotees are not in that consciousness. Sometimes it's more applicable to people who are a bit more materialistic, who always are seeking some fruit in the activities. So Srimad Bhagavatam does that, trying to attract the fallen souls who have not yet developed a taste for hearing the activities of the Lord. It is as to be an effort, and an attempt to want to hear and read. So for such persons who may be attracted by something more materialistic, Bhagavatam gives some fruit. So let's read about the fruit and discuss it. It's very interesting, very interesting. So text number 48. Yaivam etam harimedaso hari gatam subhadram gataniyamaina Shrinvita bhaktya Shravatyeta Yosatim Janadashroya Suridi Prasidati. So, translation. If one hears and describes in a devotional attitude this auspicious narration of Lord Bohr, which is worthy of description, the Lord, who is within the heart of everyone, is very pleased. Purport. In his various incarnations, the Lord appears, acts, and leaves behind him a narrative history which is as transcendental as himself. Every one of us is fond of hearing some wonderful narration. But most stories are neither auspicious nor worth hearing because they are of the inferior quality of material nature. Every living entity is of superior quality, spirit soul, and nothing can be auspicious for him. Intelligent persons should therefore hear personally and cause others to hear the descriptive narrations of the Lord's activities, for that will destroy the pangs of material existence. Out of his causeless mercy only the Lord comes to this earth and leaves behind his merciful activities so that the devotees may derive transcendental benefit. Fantastic purport. Glorifying the process of hearing. And in this verse it says, hearing and describing. Not in a mechanical way, not in a materialistic way, but with devotional attitude. So what does it mean to hear with a devotional attitude? Would anyone like to say, in their view, what they think it means to hear in a devotional attitude? In a devotional service attitude, in a devotional service attitude. Okay. So we know that there are 9 processes of devotional service: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Dasyam, and so on. The very first activity of devotional service is Shravanam. So hearing is service. There's one story once. Every year they used to have the Mayapur festival. And Banabhatta Prabhu was in charge of the festival in Mayapur. It was very busy, it was very hectic for him. He was always looking for devotees to help in all the different services. But there was one devotee, he would go into the banana plantation, and practically the whole day he would be there, and he used to chant Mahamantra. And Banabhatta would try to ask the devotee to come, but he would chant. So one day he was exasperated. He couldn't take it anymore. So he went up to Prabhupada's room and he said, Prabhupada, there is so much service to do, but all this devotee does this whole day, he sits in the banana field and he chants Hare Krishna. Can you please come and ask him to do some service? And Prabhupada said, what? Chanting Hare Krishna is the best service. It's the best service. So he's doing service. So hearing is also service to Krishna. But devotional service attitude means, and Prabhupada gives the clue in his purport, that Krishna has come and enacted all of these wonderful pastimes. Krishna had no reason to come down to this earthly planet. Krishna has no business to be here in the material world. He is perfectly happy and content in the spiritual world. He comes down to this material world and performs some beautiful activities for our benefit. So for our benefit. So by hearing the activities of Krishna, we become purified. And then after becoming purified, we become attracted to his activities. And Prabhupada says, everyone of us is fond of hearing something wonderful, wonderful narration. But all the narrations of the material world are inauspicious. But the spirit soul is of superior quality. And nothing material can be auspicious for the spirit soul. The only auspiciousness for the spirit soul is to hear about and describe the activities of Krishna. And Prabhupada, he always encourages the devotees, please, you do this. You do this. I wanted to play a little where Prabhupada is asking us to not waste our time.
Authorized. We read Srimad Bhagavad Gita. We read Brahma Samhita. Not rascals' book. What these rascals can write? They're imperfect. So don't waste your time. Simply, always pour in, give oral reception to the message of Urukrama. Don't waste a single moment. This should be your life's policy. Abhartha kalatyam. Rupa Goswami advises an advanced devotee should always look whether my time is wasted. Abhartha kalatyam. Bhartha means useless. So that should be one of the target of devotees. That whether I am wasting my time. Don't waste your time. Always pour in the activities of the Lord Krishna. Always. 24 hours. Kirtaniya sadahari. Chaitanya Mahapurush. Sada. Sada means always. 24 hours. Otherwise, it is the snake hole. Similarly, jivhasati dardurikeva suta. Dardurikeva. A frog's tongue. Kakarka, kakarka. No? Dardurikeva suta. Nachopagayati urugaya gatha. Urugaya. And glorious activities. This should be our motto of life.
Srila Prabhupada is telling us, these glorious activities of the Lord, we should make it our main motto. Prabhupada uses the word main policy, main motto, to always hear. And what happens when Krishna notices someone is eager to hear about his activities? Krishna becomes pleased. Krishna becomes pleased. When Krishna notices a devotee has got some attraction to hear about him, even if the devotee doesn't have an attraction, the devotee understands the glorious benefit. The devotee understands that Krishna came to this material world, had no business to be here, but Krishna came for us, and he performed these activities to attract us. Krishna did this for us. The devotee, out of gratitude, will say, let me give oral reception. Let me hear about this. And for such a devotee who makes the attempt, like many of y'all, I always think about y'all. I don't do it like y'all. But some of y'all come, whatever it is, for years now, you'll make the effort to come and hear Srimad Bhagavatam. And we can know for sure from this verse. This verse is a declaration. And Prabhupada uses the word prasidati. Prasidati. Krishna is very pleased for a devotee who has this attitude, the service attitude. I want to hear about, not only about the Vrindavan Leela, but Matsya, Varaha, Kurma, everything. Every activity of the Lord is transcendental. So what happens to such a devotee who who has this mood, and Krishna is very pleased. And what happens when Krishna is very pleased? This is the next verse. Oh, you can see that. Oh, sorry, I'm not sharing my screen. So this is the next verse. What happens when Krishna is very pleased? Tasmin prasane sakala shisham prabho kim labam tabi alam lavat mabhi ananya drishtya bhajatam guhasaya swayam vidate swagatim paraparam. This is what happens. Nothing remains unachieved when the Supreme Personality of Godhead is pleased with someone. By transcendental achievement, one understands everything else to be insignificant. One who engages in transcendental loving service is elevated to the highest perfectional stage by the Lord Himself, who is seated in everyone's heart. Purport. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 10:10, what's the verse? Tesham satatam yuktanam bhajatam pratipurvakam tadami buddhi yogam tam yena upayantite. The Lord gives intelligence to the pure devotees so that they may be elevated to the highest perfectional stage. It is confirmed herein that the pure devotee who constantly engages in the loving service of the Lord is awarded all knowledge necessary to reach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For such a devotee, there is nothing valuable to be achieved but the Lord's service. If one served faithfully, there is no possibility of frustration because the Lord Himself takes charge of the devotee's advancement. The Lord is seated in everyone's heart, and He knows the devotee's motive and arranges everything achievable. In other words, the pseudo devotee, who is anxious to achieve material gains, cannot attain the highest perfectional stage because the Lord is in knowledge of his motive. One merely has to become sincere in his purpose, and then the Lord is there to help in every way. So there's a certain sequence taking place here. The first part is that the devotee hears, or the person hears. Then Krishna becomes pleased with such a person. And when Krishna is pleased with such a person, he is ready to bestow anything and everything that that person wants to achieve. But those who are pure devotees, they have nothing to achieve. Actually, the only thing they want to achieve is Krishna's happiness, nothing else. And as the verse says, everything else is insignificant. Everything else is insignificant. Dhruva Maharaj, originally he wanted, the greatest kingdom. And that was his goal. But after he met the Lord, he saw that that aspiration was totally insignificant. He said, I was searching for broken glass, but I found a diamond. So when one gets the taste for devotional that comes with devotional service, nothing else happens. One has no other aspiration. One wants to achieve nothing else. As Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Nadanam, Najanam, Sundarim. That I do not desire any amount of wealth. I do not desire any amount of followers. I do not desire beautiful women. All I desire is like birth after birth, your causeless devotional service. And Prabhupada says, what is the greatest thing to achieve for a devotee? That is to engage the Lord's loving service. And Prabhupada says he's elevated to the highest perfectional stage by the Lord himself. And what is the highest perfectional stage? The highest perfectional stage is to be situated in pure love for Krishna, engaged in unmotivated and uninterrupted service. And as we know, that Krishna does not give this easily. He'll give bhakti, he'll give mukti. But bhakti, Krishna is very careful to give. Because by bhakti, the Lord becomes completely purchased. As Prabhupada says, Krishna becomes a plaything in the hands of his devotees. So the highest perfectional stage is Krishna gives himself completely to the devotee. And the devotee gives himself completely to Krishna. So this is the process. Krishna, the devotee hears, Krishna becomes pleased. Krishna wants to benedict the devotee with any achievement. And the devotee in that consciousness says to Krishna, I don't want any achievement. Sorry, I don't want anything. Prahlad Maharaj was asked by Lord Nishingadev, ask for some benediction. No, I don't want. Sudama was asked by his wife to go to Krishna. Ask Krishna to give you. No. I won't ask. I'll just go to see Krishna and I'll take a little rice for him. So for that devotee who is completely pure in heart, who has no motivation but to please Krishna, to render service to Krishna, that person is elevated to the highest perfectional stage by the Lord himself. And then Prabhupada says here in the purport something very interesting. Prabhupada says you can't cheat Krishna. Krishna is within the heart of every living entity. He knows the living entity's every single desire, every single aspiration. And Krishna will see and he reciprocates. Ye yatamam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajami aham. Krishna says, as they surrender to me, I reward them accordingly. And Prabhupada says, one merely has to become sincere in his purpose. Then the Lord is there to help in every way. So the question may arise, how does one become sincere in purpose? How does one develop this affinity to hear about Krishna? And that's explained in the first canto, second chapter, text number 16. Shushrusho Sharadadannasya Vasudeva Kataruchi Syan Mahat Sevaya Vipraha Punyatirtha Nisevanat. O twice born sages, by serving those devotees who are completely free from all vice, great service is done. By such service, one gains affinity for hearing the messages of Vasudeva. So it starts off with service to the pure devotees. By serving the pure devotees, we develop an affinity to hear. So the whole process is so beautiful. It's so wonderfully it's being explained here. And now it's text number 50. Konamaloke Purushartha Saravat Pura Katanam Bhagavat Gata Sudham Apiya Karna Jalibir Bhavapaham Aho Viraje Tavina Naretaram. Translation. Who other then one who is not a human being can exist in this world and not be interested in the ultimate goal of life. Who can refuse the nectar of narrations about the personality of Godhead's activities, by which itself can deliver one from all pangs? Purport. The narration of the activities of the personality of Godhead is like a constant flow of nectar. No one can refuse to drink such nectar except one who is not a human being. Devotional service to the Lord is the highest goal of life for every human being. And such devotional service begins by hearing about the transcendental activities of the personality of Godhead. Only an animal, or a man who is almost an animal in behavior, can refuse to take an interest in hearing the transcendental message of the Lord. There are many books of stories and histories in the world, but except for the histories or narrations on the topics of the personality of Godhead, none are capable of diminishing the burden of material pangs. Therefore, one who is serious about eliminating material existence must chant and hear of the transcendental activities of the personality of Godhead. Otherwise, one must be compared to non-humans. I saved this verse. As many of you all know, my main service is the distribution of Srimad Bhagavatam. And so we meet so many people and we request them, please take the Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is nothing but the narrations about the activities of the personality of Godhead. By hearing these activities, you can achieve all perfection in life. But it is so difficult to convince people to take Bhagavatam. If someone is giving out something very valuable, very, very invaluable, in fact, you can't even put a price to it, you'll think people will be flocking and falling over each other to come and take it. But Prabhupada is saying, one who is on the level of animal consciousness, and actually human beings, see, the human beings, we are endowed with something very, very special, which distinguishes us from animals. And that is, we have the ability to hear and assimilate the activities about the Lord. You go to a goat and you say to a goat, come and hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Because by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, you will receive a flow of nectar through your ears. And through this process of hearing, you'll become liberated from the cycle of birth and death. That will make no sense to a goat. A goat will have no attraction to hear about the messages of the Lord. Neither will the goat have any appreciation about the benefit that comes. But a human being has this sense of discernment. Yes, here is something that can elevate me, can liberate me from the cycle of birth and death. So those people who you go and tell to hear and they refuse, they are compared to be no better than animals, because their consciousness is just like the animal. They can't assimilate what's being told. They can't appreciate. They can't take it up. Just like the goat can't do it. The goat can't go internally. The goat can only focus on sleeping, eating, mating, and defending. But Prabhupada says somehow or the other, this lecture, I would encourage you, dear devotees, if you have the time, go listen to this lecture that Srila Prabhupada gives on Srimad Bhagavatam 2, 3, 20, and 21. I must have listened to this lecture many, many times. It's one of my favorite lectures. It's my favorite lectures. Prabhupada says, go and inject in their ear holes. Inject in their ear holes the messages of Urukrama. Urukrama Vikramana. Prabhupada says, inject in their ear holes this message. This is the devotee's duty. The devotee's duty is to hear and also try to inject somehow or the other, make arrangements, come up with some plan to help them hear, this messages about Krishna, because this hearing process is the greatest activity. The greatest activity. It can deliver, as the verse says, it can deliver one from all material pangs. Just by hearing, therefore Prabhupada said, the most valuable organ of the body is the ears. When we are about to die, the last organ to shut down is the ear. Everything else will shut down. The last organ to shut down is the ear. And Prabhupada says, these ears, they lack, you can't put a price to how valuable these ears are. We should not make them, like Prabhupada says, snake holes. The frog is sitting in the snake hole and is croaking, kakarko, kakarko, Prabhupada said. He's calling the frog, the snake, come and eat me. The snake is compared to death, come and eat me. But these ear holes should not be like snake holes, Prabhupada, not be like snake holes. They are so, and we should put into these ear holes, and if those are not interested, find some way. Find some way to put these messages of Urukrama. These are such beautiful verses in the Bhagavatam. Okay, it's 12:30. I should stop here. Any comments, dear devotees, reflections, additions? Hare Krishna. Usha Mataji, you like to say something?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you for the wonderful class. I had a question. What is more beneficial for your sadhana? Is it reading a book or joining groups like this, or hearing lectures on the YouTube? That is my question.
If one can
because
hear,
sometimes I'm not very much on reading, but I like to hearing lecture on the YouTube from the ISKCON's devotees.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Whatever way you're hearing the message, Mataji, that's perfect. Yeah. Sometimes it's nice if we can, opportunity comes to go here in person. Srimad Bhagavatam class is given every day in Bhaktivedanta Manor or Soho Street, or which is closer to you. Depends if you got that opportunity. There's something special when we do it in person with devotees. It's just, you are there. So yeah, perfect is to hear YouTube lectures. Perfect is to read. If you don't have time to read, reading is hearing. Listening to YouTube is hearing. Listening in the class is hearing. Whatever inspires you the most, Mataji. But you're doing hearing in any shape or form is glorious, and it pleases Krishna. Very pleasing to Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Jyoti.
I have a very little reflection, if I can share, please.
Of course.
When you say that, you have to be sincere with your bhakti, and you pray to Krishna sincerely, and he also responds. Yeah.
Yes.
So I had a very busy day today, and I sent a wrong Zoom link. Then I deleted, then I sent another one, and I was on the way home. I was literally 10 minutes from my house. It was around 7 o'clock, and I thought, okay, thank God, I've done everything and I'm on time for Zoom. Let's get there. Come near my house, and there is suddenly this temporary traffic lights. From 7 to 7:27, I was stuck in that, and I'm only 10-minute walk from my house. But I can't leave the car in the middle of the road. I have Zoom. I'm thinking, oh my God, what do I do now? What do I do? I was stressing. What do I do? And I said, and suddenly this just happened. And I just said in the car, my daughter was with me, Devika, and I just said, Krishna, something has to happen now. You have to help. We got to meet the Zoom. Zoom is in next 10 minutes. I have less than 10 minutes. Come and help, please. Help me. Get out of here, please. That was around 7:27, and 7:33, I drove in my driveway.
Oh.
And my daughter goes, Mommy, we sat there all this time, and the minute you spoke to Krishna, we are home. And when I started praying to Krishna, I was loud and out about it. She goes, Mommy, this is just traffic. We will be home. Like, she thought, why am I stressing so much? And now I'm calling Krishna to come and help me, please. And she thought, Mommy, please stop. What are you doing? 7:33, I was home. 7:35, my laptop was on. So my point is, like, I sincerely did not want to miss Zoom time. I wanted to be here on time. And I just prayed to Krishna, please come and help. Where am I stuck here? Please do something. Literally within minutes, he helped. Within seconds, he helped.
It's amazing.
That's just so amazing, so amazing. I feel so blessed. I just wanted to share this little reflection. Hare Krishna. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you, Jyoti Mataji. You've been a regular from COVID in 2020 when we started these classes. And you've been regular, not only coming to here, but serve the devotees by putting the Zoom and recording it and sharing the recording. That's Krishna must be so pleased with you. So pleased with you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for your service.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else has got any comments or reflections? Yeah, devotee, somehow or the other, we just so grateful. We should be so grateful. We're getting this opportunity to hear about Krishna. It's the greatest achievement ever. And it's pleasing to Krishna, as confirmed by today's verses. Krishna is really pleased. And we can achieve the highest perfectional stage simply by giving oral reception to the messages of Krishna. Thank you very much for doing this so regularly, for coming together, because it is the devotees' individual presence which makes up a sangha. You know, I could be, but what's the use of me being here alone? It's the sangha that makes everything glorious. So thank you for maintaining the sangha. I know recently we had some concerns about the sangha diminishing and what to do, and there were different suggestions, and we're still discussing it, but somehow or the other, let's just keep this going for our benefit and the benefit of others. Thank you very much. All glories to your service. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Srimad Bhagavatam. Vanchakalpatudubhyascha kripasindhivyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo Anantakoti Vaishnava.
Krishna Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, dear.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
Prabhuji.
much. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.